I see, I see.
In the end, the plan is to make a mega pack using the hypercar regulations.
Oliver Day has spun in 2 LSPG5. Let's see that again.
33, I guess 32, somewhere in there, however long they've
The way it's going, I feel like aren't IMSA and WC like fighting each other or
Back
something?
to Oliver Day running P2.
Basically.
Let's ride with Daryl Kruger in the number 94 Porsche 935K3.
I mean, they came up with those regulations, but I mean, effectively, they created 2 different regulations, like car standards, and that's the problem we run into right now, where it's like, hey, we'd like to have LMH spec over here, but we can't really because it's not competitive. It's the same thing with the LMDH WEG, to the point where it's like, yeah, we can't be competitive because you keep wanting the Ferrari to win. And
Daryl Kruger holding P5.
I ain't complaining.
Yeah, I know you.
It's trying because you see like Toyota was winning a shitload, and then somehow Ferrari is winning Le Mans, and but then not a lot.
Their qualifying was crazy yesterday. Yeah. How Ferrari pipped them. Toyota right there at the end.
Can Daryl Kruger finally take that top step? 3 races in and still looking for a win.
I guess it's not easy to do a BOP, but at the same time, I think he can do a better job.
Oh yeah, they're gonna hide it now.
Yeah.
Oliver Day lost the rear in 2 LSPG5. Here's the replay.
BOP because they don't know the navigation or whatever he said. I can't remember, but.
That's what you say when you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and you just don't want the controversy to put, so they're just like, whatever.
We're back with Daryl Kruger in P1. Carl Straw fastest in U2 LSPG5 AMP 130.738.
This doesn't run into the night, does it?
No. Well, it should. This is not. This is the other set. Shit, that's something else. That's a DWSC setting.
Set your watch by Becky Illy Clark's lap time.
I didn't even check that shit.
Becky Illy Clark clocks the sector 1 time.
I'm not complaining. I was just curious to have to look over.
29 laps completed by Becky Illy Clark. Onboard with Matt Wright from the number 50 BMW M1 Group 5.
Jump on there and look at what the time sync is.
I wouldn't worry about it. If it runs it well, I mean, just for knowing, I guess it'd be useful, but.
What was your Le Mans race? Rosa, you got it by Max, but other than that, and you ran out of fuel.
That's it.
That's it.
In my race. That's all. I did not run out of fuel.
Almost.
It was close.
Yeah, close.
No, it starts at noon and the time scale's normal.
Becky Ellie Clark maintaining P3.
When I did switch it to 2X fuel, I didn't realize that we raced. I didn't even know that the MNRL server, I had it on 2X fuel for, I guess, forever. Because I don't ever remember changing that.
Makes sense for what we're running.
Yeah.
2L SPQ5P2.
Yeah, I just on my other series, I don't know how long it's been set on 2X because I don't remember changing it.
Oliver Day
I didn't think they were that bad though. I really didn't think they were that bad.
They're not that bad, it's just they weren't they should have been. And certainly anyone, the Porsche drivers appreciated it because it looked a little bit better. But everyone else, it was the
Oliver Day sets the benchmark in Sector 1.
So the Rangers
now on board with Matt Wright driving the number 50 BMW M1 Group 5.
How far do you
less light, basically.
Yeah.
I also drove so badly at Le Mans.
Matt Wright
I
running in
spun, I
P4.
think, 3-4 times. And one time I brought Eduardo with me. He was just behind me. And I spun.
Fastest in 2
who's it called? The one before
Becky Ellie Clark,
Indianapolis?
124.402.
After that one's after.
Yeah. And yeah, I just spun and we just basically had the
Here's the 2LSP
Rocket to
G5
League
Amber
one
Cruiser.
moment. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
And yeah. Like I think if you sum all the spins, I think I lost
Becky Ellie Clark in
about
2
40
LSP
seconds.
G5. Let's take another look.
Yeah. And I've reviewed lap 1 when I thought like Eduardo got it and he ran wide. No, I cut across him. I didn't realize there were so many cars. My radar was going crazy, and so I didn't see. And I cut across in the.
Returning to Daryl Kruger in P1. Here's Ross Smith in P2 in 2 LSP G5
Absolutely yes.
Oh, man.
Absolutely yes. And yeah. Again, I drove like an idiot. I also went to overtake JT Tam.
BMW M1 Group 5.
You know, using the
Matt
under
Wright
2
is in a real
liters.
groove metronome lap.
And you know, I was just on his inside, just in front of him, into turn 1, basically.
Matt
I don't
Wright
remember
now
the name,
14
sorry.
laps done.
And the thing is, he's in Monte Carlo, so
Matt Wright
he just
improves in sector
fucking gapped me. But I was already
Matt Wright
braking
tops
as if I was going like a
with
normal, you know, going
124.329.
slightly
That's
wide.
0.07
And so I
quicker
also
than
ended
Becky
up
Ellie Clark.
hitting him. Because I didn't expect him to just gain so much ground in the braking zone.
Right.
And so yeah. And yeah. If I don't get a penalty, I'll be, you know, stunned, because at some point I should get a penalty.
P6 Carl Shaw keeping it clean. Ross Smith currently P2
Yeah,
in 2
I should have
LSP
had
Dual
second
5
in
Am.
class for that race, and events changed right at the end. George cheated and stayed in front of the leaders. So
How is that cheating? Wait.
he blocked them from passing him. So
No
Voucher-
joke.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh,
P2
that
for
cost
Ross
Voucher
Smith
the
in
win,
2
didn't
LSP
it?
Dual 5 Am
Did.
with a 127.752.
Well, no, it did. That one did
That's
not.
1.88
Okay.
behind
What
Daryl
cost
Kruger.
Voucher the win was,
Let's
I
ride with
think,
Daryl
Magnus
Kruger in the number
Dahlgren.
94 Porsche 135k3. Oh, something has gone wrong for Oliver Day in 2 LSP G5. Let's
But
take
that's
a look.
that's why it was so far. I was like, Dahlgren is with me for like half the race, and I was like in second and third or whatever, and then I got my shit race, and then he wasn't that far forward, and I was like,
Back to Daryl
what
Kruger
happened?
running P1 in 2 LSP
Yeah,
G5 Am.
I mean, Voucher was kind of, I don't know if he was
Daryl
full
Kruger
singing or just
cruising in
taking his
P5.
time as he was behind.
Switching to Ross Smith on board in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5.
I kept telling him, I'm like, get ahead of them. Voucher, get ahead of them. Get ahead of them, please, so I don't have to do another lap fighting George. And he eventually did, and I was like, okay, cool. And,
Becky Ellie Clark fastest in 2 LSP G5,
he got ahead
124.402.
of them. Doing great. George managed to stay ahead of Steve Carman, so their fight was kind of done.
Switching
He
to
was
2
sticking
LSP
with
Dual 5 Am P2,
Voucher,
Ross Smith.
who then, of course, Dahlgren comes flying up, passes George, gets to Voucher, and is like, I'm going to pass you around the outside of Arnage, and just takes out Voucher, runs them
P4
both
for
to
Ross
the
Smith,
wall,
a quiet run
and
so
George
far.
slips back in front.
Switching to U2L
And then
SB
it's
Gear
on
5 and
between-
leader Carl
Oh,
Struhol.
Who was it? Was it Dan?
Wasn't it Brad?
Yeah, it was.
It was Brad. Yeah,
Sellers,
Bradley
yeah.
Sellers, yeah.
Now with 2L SB Gear 5 P2.
I mean,
Becky
Dan's
Ely
good,
Clark.
but he's not that good that he could win at Le Mans in the BMW.
Yeah, the M1s are really underpowered because I mean, Dan should have. I mean, the Ferraris are so far ahead of them. Not so far, but quite faster, I think, of the BMWs. M1s.
Yeah. Yep.
P2 Becky Ely Clark, keeping it clean.
Although the 935s did pretty damn good here on Tuesdays. So I'm not sure how they
Yeah,
pulled
at a
that
track
off,
that you wouldn't expect them to be fast at.
right?
Let's check on Ross
But
Smith, P2 in
They
2L
also didn't
SB Gear
have quite
5
as
AM.
much competition in the top end as what they did on the Saturday. In fact, I don't even know if there were any other cars running this day.
Ollie
It
Day
was-
was, but in the BMW.
Wait, Porsches or BMWs? You're talking about?
They were running Porsches.
Daryl Kruger still searching for that
Also,
first
by the
win
way,
of the season
George
after 3 starts.
has almost done that to me.
Now
in
with the
Mugello.
U2L SP Gear 5 AM leader
You can
Carl
see in
Struhol,
the
sixth championship.
live in the broadcast. He held me up with an angry Dan Urlock behind me, and I got held up about 2 seconds. About 2 seconds. I pass him and he lets Dan go immediately. Like, fuck off, dude.
Let's see it from Ross Smith's perspective in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5.
I don't think he was on purpose, but I did curse him, and I did tell him, what the fuck, dude.
My last lap was over 9 minutes long.
Becky Ely Clark has spun in
Yeah, I
2L
saw that.
SP Gear 5.
How
Let's
much?
see that
He
again.
had like 3 liters, 2 liters?
I had less than 2 liters.
Wow.
It was fun. Oh, there goes my engine.
We're back with Ross Smith
Oh,
in
you're
P2
back
in
in
2L
under 2
SP Gear
litres,
5
if you're
AM.
me.
Yeah, I
Holiday
can't.
into P2 in 2L
I
SP Gear 5.
couldn't find it just
124.683.
car
That's
that-
0.28 behind
that
Becky
quick,
Ely
so
Clark.
I just went
Quicker
to what I'm
laps now
used
from
to.
Becky Ely Clark.
Ollie Day set up really nice for it.
Yeah, I think the shifting is what's catching me out.
Becky Ely Clark alongside Ollie Carjanlati.
Yeah, that caught me out for a bit. Sorry for scaring you.
I should try the forward. I like the way it shifts in the. But I'll just try that. So that I ain't the only under 2 liter out there.
Ollie Carjanlati cruising in P1.
Oh, Ollie's That's really
Fastest in 2L SP Gear 5, Matt Wright, 124.329. That's 0.07 quicker than Becky Ely Clark.
Ross, what do you have your brake bias set to? Because I stole one of your setups and I realised the brake bias is way too far forwards. So, like, you couldn't brake very hard.
May have to have pizza for lunch. I'm just looking at all these cars. Sorry, folks.
That's not what I ran.
Lap 18 for Ollie Carjanlati, settling into the rhythm.
I took your Riverside setup. I was like, Riverside probably the most similar.
That one was kind of high.
On board with
Because
Becky
of
Ely
the
Clark
back end,
in
that
the number
track
51
was-
BMW M1 Group 5. Becky Ely Clark has found some pace in the last few laps.
Okay.
But my strategy was very
And it worked.
Just got around Oliver Day.
I tried to stay behind Uther or Brad, I don't know who it was. But in the night, I don't know why they were so slow. Like I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Yeah.
Ross Smith navigating around Oliver Day.
No idea. But I'm not sure they were saving. Maybe they were saving a bit, but they were losing way too much. So I think they might have damage.
Oricar John Lapp
Because they were slow in the middle of the course, and I get the Ferrari and those.
That's 0.83 quicker than that.
But I was catching up so much.
Oricar John Lapp is on board with the number 46 Ferrari 5.12 BBLM.
Like in the Porsche S's, I was like completely.
Ferrari is just a strong car. Mustang can be okay in the corners, but
Yeah, and I remember picking it and Musica. I don't think the Ferrari went out there and looked good, but I don't know, I just took the Ferrari.
Here's the
for the
view
hell
from
of
Matt
it.
Wright's cockpit in the number 50
And,
BMW M1 Group 5.
Yeah, I think the Ferrari, the only thing that now I'm grateful it's there, because it would be like BP2L if it wasn't there, is the shift shifting and the gear. You can really select the gear you want, the gearing. So yeah, because if you also had good gearing and a good gear shift, I would think you would have to like ballast it 150 kilos or something.
Matt Wright ticking off the laps on lap 17.
Hopefully it's a qualifying lap.
Becky Illy Clark lost the rear in 2LSB GFI. Here's the replay. Returning to Oliver Day in P4 and 2LSB G5. Carl Struwell into P3 and 2LSB G5 AM, 127.572. That's 1.70 behind Darrell Kruger. A solid 31 laps so far from Oliver Day. On board with Matt Wright in the number 50 BMW M1 G5. Ross Smith fastest in 2LSB G5 and 125.689.
Better than 8 the lane, I guess. Apes aren't the lane.
No, apes are called. Oh, and apes that aren't humans are called. Humans.
Well, until we find that missing link.
No, it's historic Scaparavis.
Switching to Ross Smith's onboard.
So I think I can understand for my life it's why Oliver Day, it's always like in the front, in quali, it's always like second or something, and then it's nowhere to be seen in the race. I don't know what happens to it, I never do, it just disappears.
Isn't that
Carl
just
Struwell maintaining
Mustang all
P7.
over?
It's kind
I
of
guess,
Oliver
yeah.
Day. He can be very fast, but it's almost like every single race, his brain glitches.
Carl Struwell sets a personal best through sector
But
3.
he was the most consistent of everyone last season.
Oliver Day.
So I think he was the most consistent person last season. I was winning for the consistency, but then I stopped racing, so I got to
Wait, do you mean the consistency metric on
Yeah.
QLA?
I don't mean to be mean, but it was a consistent like
Oliver Day
now.
cruising in P4. Close
I
running
mean,
between
to
Becky
mean,
E.
but-
Clark and Ollie
I mean, it's still
Cargiamatti.
consistent. I'm just saying
I
it's
guess.
consistent.
The times are coming down for
runs
Becky
his
E.
race
Clark.
pace. He just runs his own pace.
Yeah, until he hits that one lap where he's way the hell off and loses everything. But
Yeah, because it's not slow. That's I don't understand. That I don't understand. It's not slow, but we do like 4 laps and then I don't see him for the rest of the race. Not in the Delta, nowhere. Did he blow up? Like
Carl
crazy.
Struhal, currently P3 in 2LSPG5
usually
AM.
it's self-induced. He'll just, I know,
A
he'll
spin
just
for
push
Carl
a little bit too
Struhal
hard
in
and
2LSPG5
run
AM.
off. I mean, it's certainly
Let's
not
take
all
another
the
look.
time, but I remember that with the 64s. He'd be way up, you know, like just kicking ass and destroying everyone, and then there he would be spinning off the track somewhere.
Back to Carl
into a
Struhal,
gully.
running P. Now with the 2LSPG5 leader, Ollie
It's like me for real,
Cargiamatti.
for real.
I feel like this is a hard track to learn these cars at.
P1 for Ollie Cargiamatti, a quiet run. So let's check on 2LSP now with
But it's a fast
2LSP05
track.
P3, Becky Ellie Clark. Quicker laps now from Becky Ely Clark.
Gets the job done.
It is bloody fun in this
Daryl Kruger yet to stand on the top step
It
this
doesn't
season.
feel like it's a good
Let's
one.
ride with Ollie Cargiamatti in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Nobody quicker than Ollie Cargiamatti in sector 1. Ollie Cargiamatti goes purple in sector 2.
But is there such thing as a good track for the BMW? Oh,
First
really?
side was pretty good.
The other 2 liter will be
M1.
I think M1
Oliver
is
Day
just
moving aside
as
to
slow
Daryl.
as Ferrari.
On board with
Like,
Oliver Day in the
as
number
far
50
as
BMW
I've tried
M1
and
Group
seen,
5.
it just it has all the characteristics of the Ferrari, just a bit less. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's not right. And I've had that conversation.
Oliver Day has
before,
completed
so-
34 laps now.
Do the cars have to be that far away from each other in the BOP in specific features or whatever you want to call it, like handling versus top
Yeah.
speed versus whatever else you want, fuel efficiency? Because I agree, we should have discrepancies between the cars. I just wish they weren't as big as they are sometimes.
Ollie Cargiamatti is getting into a rhythm now.
Because it would be nice to have strategy and
Switching to Daryl Kruger's on board in the number 94 Porsche 955 K3.
And what then like proves it's competitive, but that's probably more him than anything else. I think the BMWs can be a bit lighter, less draggy.
Let's ride with Ross Smith in the
Like,
number
I
0
know it's
BMW
a Ferrari
M1
thing to
Group
be
5.
Super
Times are
fucking
coming down for
draggy
Ross
at
Smith.
higher speeds. Like every Ferrari car I've driven, well, of course, it's same. It's
Ross
like,
Smith
oh
is running
yes,
2LSPG5 amp. Let's see
50,000
that again.
horsepower. Except yes, like 1 of coefficient of drag. So you get
Right.
to 280 super fast, and then you just lose so much.
yeah. Yeah.
We're back with Ross
mean,
Smith in
that's-
P2.
That is, well, certainly for the 70s, 80s.
Quicker laps
90s,
now
that
from
was
Daryl Kruger.
Ferrari. More horsepower.
Fastest in 2LSPG5 amp.
displacement.
Daryl Kruger, 125.143.
Downforce
That's
from
0.55 quicker than Ross Smith.
Yep.
On board with Carl Struhal in the number 63 Ford
Although
Zaxby
maybe
Mustang.
the 512 was, it had, rounded fat skirts, so maybe it wasn't that draggy after all, but
Oh,
In the
come
last
on, little
version.
Beamer.
which is
8
what
laps
we're running.
completed. by Carl
Yes.
Struhal.
This is a nice lap.
P2 for Becky Illy Clark in 2LSP Gear 5 with a 123.88.
Done it.
Ollie Clark and Mackie.
Yeah.
P5 Daryl Kruger,
It's a fin.
PB and clean.
They do
Ross
that.
Smith,
Hello,
working
Ollie.
through track. Let's see it from Ollie Cargelati's perspective in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Oliver Day lost the rear in 2L SPG 5. Here's the replay.
Hello?
Like his
Hello.
Ben did.
Returning to
Howdy,
Ollie
folks.
Cargelati in P1 in 2L SPG 5.
Discord.
Going. You're leaving us?
Yeah.
Ollie
Yeah,
Cargelati
yeah.
taking off the lap on lap 20. Here's the view from
Just
Ross Smith's
as it
cockpit
gets
in the
to-
number 0
See
BMW
ya.
M1 Group 5.
Do this in one.
Ross Smith has found some pace in the last few laps.
See you.
Is it quality in 5 minutes?
Yeah, Becky, I'm trying to figure out who's on Discord and who's not on this server.
Good times. I've only managed to string together a few laps without spinning.
And we're gonna have the whole 20 minutes for qualifying, so that would
Ross
give plenty
Smith
of
finding
time.
time in sector 1.
Nice. I might just practice race pace.
Ross Smith tops 2LSP Geo 5. Oh, a spin for Ross Smith with 2LSP Geo 5 amp. Let's take another look.
Is that Max?
Back to Ross Smith, running P1 on board with Ollie Cargelati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM.
But it's Sunday afternoon. Oh, he must be muted. Oops.
Wow. We only got 6, but at least we got some folks wanting to enjoy this mod and have some fun, and that was the whole purpose. So thanks to all that came out to make it a go. Well, we won't give up on the Euro MNRL just after one race. We might schedule another one in a month or so. We'll figure it out. But thank you all for showing up that are here. I'm going to make sure that everyone that's on the server is in the Discord. That's not real hard to do with only 6 of us, but yeah. So thank y'all. I'm going to run through this driver's brief that I actually spent some time writing on Notepad. So welcome to the CMS Euro MNRL Road Atlanta Grand Prix. The race length will be 100 miles, so we'll race 40 laps with a formation lap to bring us around to the start. The server settings are live weather. The fuel has been set to 2X because I wanted it to be just like the last Tuesday night race. So mechanical failure tires are at normal. And then depending on the amount of drivers, we may or may not split qualifying, which we will not be splitting qualifying. We'll just all run for 20 minutes, so give us all plenty of time to get in our fast laps and actually get some more practice since I moved up to the 2-liter car. Don't forget to remain on Discord for the race, at least listening. If you wish to transmit, use push to talk or voice activation set high enough to avoid the broadcast of random noises. The start procedure. For MNRL, we're using that the pole position car dictates the pace. So the formation lap approximately 90 kilometers per hour. Say approximately 1 to 2 car length behind the car in front. Keep distance consistent. No weaving, excessive braking. The start is when each row reaches the start finish line. So the race starts for each row of competitors at that moment. No passing prior to the start finish line. Cars should be holding steady speed before the green. A car going full throttle or accelerating before the start finish line may be subject to a jump start. The orange zone is from the start to, I think I needed to correct this. It says T7, but I meant T5. So the exit of the S's. And there is a red zone through the S's, which is turn 2 through turn 5. And by red zone, that means it's a permanent orange zone. So during the races, altercations through the S's will be looked upon a little bit more sternly, because we all know that is very difficult passing zone. So, and blue flag, drivers do not have to get out of the way, but may not compete with or obstruct the lapping car. Lapping car has the responsibility for making a clean pass. Both have the responsibility for good racing behavior. Track limits are self-policed. The pit stop, which is obligatory, which of course we all are going to have to pit. So when pitting, upon pit entry, set up to ensure you are well right coming out of turn left. That's wrong, isn't it? You need to be left. Sorry. That's right, because the pits are on the left. So I didn't change that. I'm just reading this
On the
verbatim.
pits on the right.
No.
You're on the left.
This is a historic version, Molly. That'll give you another something to do during qualifying, is learn the pits. This is a different version, Becky. It's got the pit.
Good question.
There'll be questions at the end, okay?
My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll finish this up and we'll get to whatever concerns anyone might have, okay? Let's see. So yeah, the pits are on the left. I didn't change that in my briefing. I'm sorry for that, folks. But on pit exit, stay left and join the racing surface after the end of the pit exit. So that's, just be careful with our merging. Hopefully we can avoid any altercations there. And then there is no ghosting, and there is a 124 mile an hour speed limit on this server. I was told not to change the JSON settings, so I did not. So we had a 249 mile an hour speed limit. With good luck with that on the MNRL the Tuesday night. In the case of an incident, please apply the CMS golden rule and return the position lost or gained to the driver you hit as soon as you can at a place to do so. If you are spun off track, ensure you have complete control of your car before returning to racing. Use the relative boxes and spotters as well as your eyes to make sure you can do so safely. If you cannot maneuver your car out of the way of traffic still racing, use Control Alt Delete or Alt F4 to leave RF2 and rejoin. I think that was more for Long Beach for here. So if you wish to put in IR, check the CMS Golden Competition rules on the time and limit and format. If the race includes darkness, ensure you have a button mapped to lights to pay attention to chat warnings. I don't think that's going to be an issue for us. Escape means your race is over. If you have a serious issue, Control Alt Delete or Alt F4, kill R Factor 2 and rejoin, or unplug the network cable and allow RF2 to disconnect and come back. It'll be 2 laps down. You can still race for points and finish, which we not have any points so far for this series or race. So the R2 assigned penalties may be cleared up until qualifying. After that, of course not. I'll be racing too. Won't have to do a pit box check. And any questions now? Thanks. Was that Max? Did you have something?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, if you had an issue, bring it up. I mean, that's fine.
No, I figured it myself.
All right, then. Within any objections, I will push the button and we'll move to this 20-minute qualifying session to where we'll all be out on track together.
Thank you very much for running this, Cole.
No, you're welcome. I knew there'd be a few people at least that appreciate it. Maybe we can grow it into something a little bit bigger. We'll keep trying. So here comes. I'm pushing the button. We'll get this qualifying underway.
Yeah, I think it was.
A little comment about that. I think the race might be a tiny bit too early for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, there's lots of European. Well, there's several European series that run at 2:30, including ones that I like to run. Oh. So that's one I kind of pushed it. I was hoping it might be a good window. Maybe it's not. We'll see. But good luck in qualifying, everyone.
Good luck.
Gives me a chance to figure out fuel in this car for the race and we can calculate.
You need one stop.
Yeah.
Let's ride with Ross Smith in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Ross Smith holding P3. Let's see it from Darrell Kruger's perspective in the number 94 Porsche 935 K3. Karl Struhel cruising in P5. Switching to 2L SPG 5 and P2, Darrell Kruger. Tight racing as they go wheel to on board with Ross Smith in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Darrell Kruger fastest in 2L SPG 5 amp, 127.017. That's 2.61 quicker than Ross Smith. Darrell Kruger maintaining P2. Let's ride with Karl Struhel in the number 63 Ford Zaxspeed Mustang. P2 for Karl Struhel in 2L SPQ 5 amp with a 127.741. That's 0.72 behind Darrell Kruger. Here's the view from Darrell Kruger's cockpit in the number 94 Porsche 935 K3. right into P2 and 2 LSPQ5, 125.281. That's 1.59 behind Becky Illy Clark. Daryl Kruger holding P3. Switching to Ross Smith's on board in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Can Daryl Kruger finally take that top step? 3 races in and still looking for a win. Fastest in 2L SP Gur 5am Karl Struhel, 126.227. That's 0.14 quicker than Daryl Kruger. On board with Karl Struhel in the number 63 Ford Zaxbyed Mustang. Now on board with Matt Wright driving the number 50 BMW M1 Group 5. Matt Wright improves in Sector 1. Maximilian Petraffi getting around. Switching to Daryl Kruger's on board in the number 94 Porsche 934 Porsche 955 K3. Sector 1 improvement for Daryl Kruger. Ollie Cargianlati tops 2LSPG5 with a 121.633. That's 2.06 quicker than Becky Ellie Clark. On board with Ollie Cargianlati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 PBLM. Now on board with Karl Struhel driving the number 63 Ford Zaxbyed Mustang. Karl Struhel continues to improve through Sector 1. Let's see it from Ollie Cargianlati's perspective in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. P2 for Matt. Oh, Maximilian Petraffi has spun in 2L SPQ 5am. Let's see that again. We're back with Maximilian Petraffi. Here's Daryl Kruger in P3 in 2L SPQ 5am. Close quarters as Daryl Kruger passes Ross Smith. Trouble for Ollie Cargianlati in 2L SPG 5. Remarkably consistent for Ollie Cargianlati. Switching to Daryl Kruger's onboard in the number 94 Porsche 935 K3. Daryl Kruger and Karl Struhel are on board with Karl Struhel in the number 63 Ford Zaxbyed Mustang. P5 for Karl Struhel, a quiet run so far. Let's ride with Ross Smith in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Ross Smith sets a personal best through Sector 2. Ross Smith cruising in P3. Switching to Becky Ellie Clark's onboard in the number 51 BMW M1 Group 5. Maximilian Petrovsky, now 8 laps done. Maximilian Petrovsky into P2 in 2L SPG 5AM 125.246. Let's check on Karl Struhel P2 in 2L SPG 5AM. Here's the view from Ross Smith's cockpit in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. A new personal best Sector 1 there for Ross Smith. Maximilian Petrovsky currently P2 in 2L SPG 5AM. P5 Maximilian Petrovsky keeping it clean. Sector 1 improvement for Maximilian Petrovsky. On board with Karl Struhel in the number 63 Ford Zaxby Mustang. The times are coming down for Karl Struhel. Karl Struhel maintaining P6. Switching to Olli Kajanlahti's on board in the number 46 Ferrari 522 while BB. Oh, Karl Struhel lost the rear in 2L SPG 5AM. Here's the replay. Returning to Olli Kajanlahti in P1 in 2L SPG 5. P1 for Olli Kajanlahti, a quiet run. So here's the view from Maximilian Petrovsky's cockpit in the number 59 Porsche 935 K3. Let's see it from Becky Ellie Clark's perspective in the number 51 BMW M1 Group 5. A spin for Olli Kajanlahti in 2L SPG 5. Let's take another look. Back to Becky Ely-Clark running P3. On board with Ollie Carjanlati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLN. Ollie Carjanlati is getting into a rhythm now. Daryl Kruger still searching for that first win of the season after 3 starts. Now on board with Ross Smith, driving the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Maximilian Petrovsky has spun in 2L SPG5 AM. Let's see that again. We're back with Ross Smith in P1 in 2L SPG5 AM. P2 Ross Smith, keeping it clean. Carl Struhl has problems in 2. Carl Struhl has found some pace in the last few laps. Let's see it from Maximilian Petrovsky's perspective in the number 59 Porsche 935 K3. Maximilian Petrovsky cruising. Oh, Maximilian Petrovsky is in trouble in 2L SPG05 AM. Here's the replay. Returning to Maximilian Petrovsky, here's the view from Ross Smith's cockpit in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Becky Ely-Clark into P2 and 2L SPG5, 123.001. A solid 14 laps so far from Ross Smith. 2L SPG5 AM Carl. Switching to 2L SPG5 AM P2, Maximilian Petrovsky. Carl Struhl making a move along, switching to Ross Smith's onboard in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Ross Smith holding P3. Lap 13 for Maximilian Petrovsky second. Oh, Maximilian Petrovsky lost the rear in 2L SPG5 AM. Here's the replay. Back to Maximilian Petrovsky running P. Here's Becky Ely Clark in P2 in 2L SP Gear 5. Becky Ely Clark ticking off the laps on lap 22. Here's the 2L SP Gear 5 AM leader, Ross Smith. That's qualifying done. Results coming up once all the times are in.
All right, well done. Oh, good. Look at that. He got him into the 120s. Way to go. Nice. Yeah, super fast, isn't it? It's kind of crazy, yeah. My optimal, I was really thinking, trying to get a 24.9. Only 4 seconds slower. I mean, heck, what do you think? We'll let this roll into a 10-minute warm-up. We'll do the whole thing.
Qualifying
Then we'll get this race underway. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. And at least we got a crowd. And hopefully everybody has some fun and maybe somebody to race with.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, you're welcome, Becky. And everyone.
Looking forward to it all.
I couldn't hear it correctly. We're doing the full warm-up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we give this another go-around, I may push it back 2 hours start time and see if maybe that might draw a bigger crowd the next time we do this.
2 hours might do it.
It's always going to be an awkward time for someone, but at least a few hours later, the West Coast might be able to do it as an early morning race.
P2 for Becky Ely Clark, a quiet run so far. Great 2LSP Group 5 AM on board with Ross Smith in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5.
Looking forward to the M1 race between the three of us. It's all close in quali.
Ross Smith running in P3.
Except for Olive. Except for Olive.
Oh, I meant between the M1.
No, oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, y'all should have a good one going on. It ought to be a good 100-mile duel to the end.
Sounds like a plan.
So far, no track cuts, so.
as long as there's no track fights about, anyone really cares.
Well, and the MNRL, we're a little more laid back. And like that, we'll bump it up turn 5 or wherever. So.
Now on board with Oli Cargiolati, driving the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM.
No, and I think I left damage at 75%. I don't think I changed it to MNRL.
These cars is
Oli Cargiolati maintaining P2.
Perfect pit entry there, Ross.
Thank you.
Darrell Kruger fastest in 2L SP05 AM, 126.526.
Yeah, Carl, I think the other thing too would probably be if is just the amount of heads up.
Becky Ely Clark has slowed dramatically in 2L SP05. Here's the replay.
Yeah.
People can actually know about it. I think
That's
we'll see
true.
a few more.
Yeah, I did spring it kind of spontaneously, but yeah, and we may next one will be planned a little further out, and I think I might adjust the start time.
We're
And
back
then
with Darrell
we'll see
Kruger
if we
in
can draw a
P1 and
bigger
2L
crowd.
SP05
What time does
P2 Darrell Kruger, a quiet run so far.
That's another thing. Yeah, I didn't quite do my research enough, so I'll have to look into that. We'll just schedule a weekend they're not running or something. Well, there's a lot of more research I need
Darrell
to do,
Kruger
but this
yet to
was kind
stand
of
on the top step
spontaneous.
this
And
season,
at least
3
we
rounds
got
in.
something off the ground. There's a little bit of interest, and maybe we can grow it.
yeah.
Fastest in 2L SP05, Oli Cargiolati, 123.668. Oli Cargiolati currently P2 in 2L SP05.
I can keep up with all in the race. Good to know.
P1 Oli Cargiolati, keeping it clean. P2 for Carl Schulhoff
I'm
in
not
2L
either, but that
SP05
makes
AM
sure
with a
you
129.590.
stay nice and safe.
For an hour race.
Here's the view from Becky Ely Clark's cockpit in the number 51 BMW M1 Group. Oh, something was
You
going
can
wrong
always
for
get
Becky
given a
Ely
Ben
Clark in
engine.
2L SP05. Let's take a look.
Still.
Returning to
One of the
Becky
other
Ely
problems
Clark
is that-
in P2 in 2L SP05. Let's see it from Ross Smith's perspective. Let's ride with Darrell Kruger in the number 94 Porsche 935 K3.
I know those other guys like to run it down.
I like to run it high because you can still put a lot of pressure and then let off.
I typically have it.
Darrell Kruger running in P4. That's Daryl Kruger's best sector 2 of the session. Switching to Ross Smith's on board in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Ross Smith maintaining P2. On board with Becky Clark in the number 51 BMW M1 Group 5.
And what does make expose my ignorance on the tape? You want to go up or down on the percentage?
It's the amount of coverage. So the more coverage, the better downforce, the higher resistance. On better areas,
So right now, if I'm at 20%,
cruising in Q3.
I should go up
for these temps, yeah, probably.
to like 50%. At least.
Might be a bit high without checking it with 10 seconds to go.
Okay, doke. Put it on 40. Like you said, gamble. We can gamble, right?
It's probably
Warm-up is over. The teams will now make their final preparations.
30, and I was getting, like, just doing a short run, I was getting up to like 93. So 30 or 40 is right, I think. Depends if you want to gamble like Ross or be safe like me.
I think I'll just do 30, so. All right, well.
oh, excuse me.
We're gonna roll. It's gonna roll us right into the race. Ollie will lead us around. We'll start as the pairs hit the start-finish line, and hope to see everybody make it to the end. And thanks for coming out. I could say this is a success. At least we got enough people to have a race. So, and the M1 class, maybe I'll just have you a nice hour-long duel. So,
Good luck, everyone.
I should let Matt by so that way he can fight you and I have a chance of keeping up with the both of you.
I'm just going to spin off at some point. I haven't done more than a few laps without spinning. It's quite a thing to learn these cars in such a short amount of time, which I'm sure Carl appreciates as well.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping there'll be some other under 2 liters, but excuse me, I'm eating.
Max up on the wall.
Starting lights on. And we're underway. 7 cars now racing. 41 laps at Road Atlanta 1970 HC7, 2 LSPG5, 2 LSPG5 AM.
Can I just bomb through pits? I thought.
Yeah, just because it won't count. Just pop it. Just be careful coming out.
Ollie Cargianlati holding P1.
It's just a drive through, right? You don't stop and go.
Matt Wright back out on track after 41
Yeah, I saw it say
seconds.
drive through.
Wheel to wheel in 2L SPG5 amp. Maximilian Petraffi challenging Ross Smith for P3.
Oh, did this give Daryl a chance to run his new livery that you made, Max?
P3 for Ross Smith, a quiet run so far.
All right, everybody, let's see if we can keep them on track and have some fun and get to the end.
Matt Wright challenging Ross Smith for position. Here comes Ross Smith on Matt Wright. Matt Wright extending the lead. Maximilian Petraffi has ducked into the pits from P7. Look at this 2L SPG5. Let's see it from Ross Smith's perspective in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. The gap is stretching out for Matt Wright. Can Daryl Kruger finally take that top step? 3 races in and still looking for a win. Another look at Maximilian Petraffi overtaking Daryl Kruger in 2L SPG5 AM. We rejoin the 2L SP Gure. Maximilian Petraffi heading into pit lane. Daryl Kruger hanging tough in this battle. Battle for P3 in 2LS. Ross Smith is pulling away, gap up by 1.4 seconds. Let's look back at when Matt Wright came to a halt on the formation lap. Back to the fight for P3 in 2 LSPG5 AM between Ross Smith and Matt Wright. Ross Smith cruising in P3. Carl Struwell trying to hold off Daryl Kruger for P6 in 2 LSPG5 AM. Daryl Kruger alongside... Oh, here's Daryl Kruger's pass on Carl Struwell in 2 LSPG5 AM. Back to Daryl Kruger, running P3 in 2 Oh, trouble for Maximilian Petrovsky. Now on board with Maximilian Petrovsky. Oh, while we were elsewhere, Carl Struwell stopped on track on the formation lap. Returning to the battle for P5 in 2 LSPG5 AM, Daryl Kruger versus Maximilian Petrovsky. After about 30 seconds, neither driver is backing down. Ross Smith in command, 16.0 seconds clear. Wheel to wheel in 2 LSPG5 AM, Maximilian Petrovsky challenging Daryl Kruger for P5. The lap times are starting to drop off for Maximilian Petrovsky. Daryl Kruger had a significant problem on the formation lap. Here's what we missed. We're back with Maximilian Petrovsky in P. On board with Oli Karjanlati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Maximilian Petrovsky has problems. Gap down to 7.2 seconds for Carl Struwell.
Oops.
Maximilian Petrovsky is in trouble in 2 LSPG or 5 AM. Here's the replay. Returning to Maximilian Petrovsky in P. Here's the view from Ross Smith's cockpit in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Pit stop for Maximilian Petrovsky, currently P7. Let's look back at when Carl Struwell came to a halt on lap 3. Back to Ross Smith, running P1 in 2L SPG5 AM. holding P3. Ross Smith 7 laps in, holding a 17.0 second lead. A spin for Carl Struhl in 2L SPG5 AM. Let's take another look. We're back with Ross Smith in P1. Ollie Cargelati leads by 11.6 seconds. While the action has quieted down, let's revisit an earlier moment. Returning to Ollie Cargelati in P1 in 2L SPG5. Darrell Kruger still searching for that first win of the season after 3 starts. Ollie Cargelati out front with a comfortable gap. Ross Smith under pressure from Matt Wright in the 2L SPG5 AM fight for P3. This battle has been raging for about 30 seconds now. Becky Ellie Clark has spun in 2L SPG5. Let's see that again. We rejoin the 2L SPG5 and battle for P3. Becky Ellie Clark and Matt Wright. Great 2 LSP 05 now on board with Matt Wright, driving the number 50 BMW M1 Group 5. The times are coming down from Matt Wright. Watch Matt Wright behind Becky Ellie Clark, closing fast. Becky Ellie Clark has been quicker, pulling away. Action in 2 LSP Gear 5 AM, Ross Smith versus Becky Ellie Clark for P2. Here's something interesting we missed. Back to Becky Ellie Clark, running P2 in 2L SPG 5. P3 Becky Ellie Clark, keeping it clean. Becky Ellie Clark is building a cushion. Becky Ellie Clark now 12 laps done. On board with Ross Smith in the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. Ross Smith looking strong in first place. Ross Smith has built a 22.2 second cushion over second place. Becky Ellie Clark is closing in 0.9. Oh, Ross Smith has slowed dramatically in 2 LSP Geo 5 AM. Here's the replay. We're back with Becky Ellie Clark in P2 in 2LSP05. Becky Ely Clark running in P2. Switching to 2LSP05 and P2, Daryl Kruger. While we were elsewhere, Ross Smith stopped on track on lap 14. Returning to Daryl Kruger in P2 in 2LSP05 and 14 laps completed by Daryl Kruger. Daryl Kruger maintaining P5. Daryl Kruger yet to stand on the top step this season, 3 rounds in. Old Carl Schroll had a significant problem on lap 13. Here's what we missed. Back to Daryl Kruger, running P2. Let's see it from Ollie Cargelati's perspective in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Ollie Cargelati maintaining the lead. 2LSP05 Becky. Here's the view from Becky Ely Clark's cockpit in the number 51 BMW. Oh, something has gone wrong for Becky Ely Clark in 2LSP05. Let's take a look. We're back with Becky Ely Clark in P3 in 2LSP05. Traffic management as Carl Struble on board with Ollie Cargelati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Let's look back at when Daryl Kruger came to a halt on lap 14. Returning to Ollie Cargelati in P1 in 2LSP05. Ollie Cargelati holding P1. Cargelati ticking off the laps on lap 18. While we were elsewhere, Becky Ely Clark stopped on track on lap 16. Back to Ollie Carjanlati running. Ross Smith leads by 37.6 seconds. A solid 18 laps so far. Oh, let's look back at something we missed earlier. We're back with Ross Smith in P1 in 2L SPG5 AM. Ross Smith running in P3. Now with the 2L SPG5 leader, Ollie Carjanlati. Ollie Carjanlati is struggling to maintain the pace. Becky Clark had a significant problem on lap 16. Here's what we missed. Returning to Ollie Carjanlati in P1 in 2L SPG5. Ollie Carjanlati in command, 34.4 seconds clear. Halfway point, 20 laps remaining. Now on board with Ross Smith driving the number 0 BMW M1 Group 5. While the action has quieted down, let's revisit an earlier moment. Back to Ross Smith, running P1 in 2L SPG5 AM. 21 laps completed by Ross Smith. Ross Smith still in control up front. Ollie Carjanlati's pace is fading. Here's Matt Wright in P2 in 2L SPG 5. Losing a bit of pace now, Matt Wright. The leader, Ollie Carjanlati, has pitted. Can Darrell Kruger finally take that top step? 3 races in and still looking for a win. Ross Smith has ducked into the pits from P3. Becky Ellie Clark up to P2 with Ollie Carjanlati back in the garage. Darrell Kruger 5th in the championship, pitting from P5. The lap times are starting to drop off for Matt Wright. Meanwhile, Carl Struhol pitting from P6. Let's ride with Becky Ellie Clark at the number 51 BMW M1 Group 5. Big moment, Ollie Carjanlati picks from the lead. Matt right in from the lead for a pit stop. Stop for Ross Smith, currently P6. Daryl Kruger, 5th in the championship, pitting from P4. On board with Ollie Cargianlati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Ollie Cargianlati is struggling to maintain the pace. The leader, Becky Illy-Clark, has pitted. Carl Struhol, 6th in the championship, pitting from P5. Stop complete from Matt Wright, 11:17 seconds. Daryl Kruger rejoins from the pits, 71 seconds stationary. Carl Struhol back out on track after 16.66 seconds. Ollie Cargianlati's pace is fading. Ollie Cargianlati has reeled in Matt Wright. Becky Illy-Clark is reeling in Ollie Cargianlati. Pit stop complete for Becky Illy-Clark, 100. Gap closing between Becky Illy-Clark and Ollie Cargianlati. 2L SP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati accelerating harder from hairpin 1. 2L SP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati is quicker on the power out of hairpin 1. Matt Wright rejoins from the pits, 117 seconds stationary. Better traction for 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati out of hairpin 1. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati gets a better exit from hairpin 1. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati accelerating harder from hairpin 1. Daryl Kruger back out on track after 71 seconds. Pit stop complete for Carl Struhol, 160 seconds. Strong drive out of hairpin 1 for 2L SP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati. 2L SP05 driver Ollie Cargianlati gets a better exit from hairpin 1. Becky Illy-Clark right behind Ollie Cargianlati now. P3 for Becky Illy-Clark, a quiet run so far. Switching to 2LSPGO5 leader Matt Wright. The lap times are starting to drop off for Matt Wright. Wright ticking off the laps on lap 27. The leader, Matt Wright, has built a gap. Now on board with Ollie Cargelati driving the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Losing a bit of pace now, Ollie Cargelati. Hairpin 1 is where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati pulls away. That's where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati is making time through hairpin 1. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati consistently faster through hairpin 1. Hairpin 1 is where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati pulls away. Ollie Cargelati has reeled in Matt Wright. That's where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati is making time through hairpin 1. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati has the advantage at hairpin 1. Hairpin 1 is where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati pulls away. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati is quicker through hairpin 1. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati consistently faster through hairpin 1. Hairpin 1 is where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati pulls away. That's where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati is making time through hairpin 1. 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati is quicker through hairpin 1. Hairpin 1 is where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati pulls away. That's where 2LSP05 driver Ollie Cargelati. Oh, Ollie Cargelati looking to get Ollie. Back to the fight for P1 in 2LSP05 between Ollie Cargelati and Matt Wright. P1 Ollie Cargelati keeping it clean. Lap 30 for Ollie Cargelati, settling into the rhythm. Ollie Cargelati is getting into a rhythm now. Carl Struhl lost the rear in 2LSP05 AM. Here's the replay. We're back with Ollie Cargelati in. Daryl Kruger has completed 29 laps now. 10 laps to go. Here's something interesting we missed. Returning to Daryl Kruger in P1 in 2LSP Gear 5 AM. Daryl Kruger has found some pace in the last few laps. Daryl Kruger running in P4. Here's the 2LSP Gear 5 leader, Ollie Karjanlahti. Quicker laps now from Ollie Karjanlahti. Ollie Karjanlahti with a 4.7 second advantage at the front. Ollie Karjanlahti cruising in P1. Ollie Karjanlahti is getting into a rhythm now. Solid 33 laps so far from Ollie Karjanlahti. Here's the view from Daryl Kruger's cockpit in the number 94 Porsche 935 K3. The times are coming down for Daryl Kruger. Daryl Kruger maintaining P4. Daryl Kruger now 33 laps done. Quicker laps now from Daryl Kruger. board with Ollie Cargianlati in the number 46 Ferrari 512 BBLM. Impressive consistency from Ollie Cargianlati. Ollie Cargianlati has built a 7.1 second cushion over second place. Still searching for that first win of the season after 3 starts. Ollie Cargianlati holding P1. 5 laps remaining. A spin for Karl Struhl in 2L SPG5 AM. Let's take another look. Back to Ollie Cargianlati. Run. Matt Wright has found some pace in the last few laps. Matt Wright running 7.2 seconds behind the car ahead. Let's look back at something we missed earlier. We're back with Matt Wright in P2 in 2L SPG5. Karl Struhl, 6th in the championship, pitting from P5. Lap 37 from Matt Wright, settling into the rhythm. The times are coming down for Matt Wright. P2 Matt Wright keeping it clean. Let's check on 2L SPG5 leader Ollie Cargianlati. You could set your watch by Ollie Cargianlati's lap times. Karl Struhl, 6th in the championship, pitting from P5. Ollie Carjanlati 38 laps in, holding a 10.1 second lead. Two left. Let's check on Matt Wright, P2 in 2 LSPGO5. Matt Wright with 9.9 seconds of clear air ahead. Carl Struhal has spun in 2L SPGO5 AM. Let's see that again. Returning to Carl Struhal in P2 in 2L SPGO5 AM. One lap to go. Wheel to wheel in 2 LSPGO5. Becky Ely-Clark challenging Matt Wright for P2. Remarkably consistent from Becky Ely-Clark. 2 LSPGO5 driver Matt Wright has the edge on entry to hairpin 1. Better entry speed for 2 LSPGO5 driver Matt Wright at hairpin 1. P3 Becky Ely-Clark, 1.1 seconds for the car in front. Let's look back at when Carl Struhal came to a halt on lap 36. Checkered flag for Ollie Carjanlati in 2L SPGO5. Back to Becky Ely-Clark, running P3 in 2L SPGO5. Let's ride with Daryl Kruger in the number 94 Porsche 935 K3. Daryl Kruger, 5th in the champion. Runner-up in 2L SPGO5, Matt Wright. P3 and 2L SPGO5.
Well done,
Becky
everybody. And look at
Ely-Clark.
that. I got my 24 on the last lap. 24.994. Just barely. Thank you all. I hope y'all had fun.
Thanks, Carl. Sorry, Matt, I had to go for that on the last lap. But as soon as I locked off, I was like, well, whether I stay on the track or not, I'll give the place back. But I spun anyway.
Oh, that's a good. I saw you coming. Gave you plenty of room. So I made a mess of that last lap.
Yeah, I did too. I was so eager to get